What up? Welcome to another episode of the Dealer Talk podcast. This is your host, Herb Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, I was recently at an ADA in one of the breakout sessions. They were talking a lot about GMBs, right? Google My Business, and how important that's going to be when it comes to, Google relevancy scores and things of that nature. So it really got me thinking about how does that look like for the landscape of today, meaning for dealerships? And I consult with a lot of dealerships, and I got to say, there's definitely some room for improvement there. So the guest for today is somebody that I've connected with through LinkedIn, and I think that he has somewhat of an interesting solution, or an opportunity for dealerships out there to really start focusing on their GMBs and not just that, but creating a differentiator for themselves. So without further ado, let's get into it. The guest for today is Mr. Michael Larkin. What's up, dude? How are you, man?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome, dude.
Good. Thank you for the intro. Mr. Michael Larkin. Okay. Yeah, that's my Gmail. Mr. Michael J. Larkin.
There you go, man.
Right.
Yeah, dude. So I'm excited for this conversation. You and I have connected on LinkedIn, and we commented on each other's posts and kind of developed a relationship that way. And we also did a demo, oddly enough, before NADA. And I remember looking at that and being like, yeah, I see it. I see how that could be valuable, but I just don't know if that's something that dealers would really buy into. And then we go to the show, and I have like this aha moment on the importance of GMBs and how Google is really going to be looking at that as a big focus when it comes to relevancy. But not only that, I also saw some statistics and numbers on how consumers use the GMBs to get to the dealership, even after they've been on the website. So even after they've been on the website once or twice, they'll still use the GMB to navigate back to the website, which just blew my mind.
Right.
And so I really, really wanted to have a conversation with you.
Sure.
But before we kick things off, just let's start off with your background, right? That's typically the first question that I ask everybody that comes on.
Sure. I'm happy to. My company is called Local Partnership Joint Market Solutions, and we were founded in Washington, D.C., but that's too long of a name. So everybody in D.C. has a acronym, and we shortened it LPJM. And 2014, I moved back to Connecticut, my hometown, for family reasons and such, and I brought the business along with me. And at the time, everybody was talking about reputation management, and my mentors discussed with me and drilled it into my head: you don't make any money managing anything. You make money marketing. So that was the first inclination I had, and the first tool that we used was taking a 5-star reputation and marketing that reputation to get more business, and segueing it into online. The car industry has been on a tear in the past 5 years, doing a great job in asking their customers and clients and such, can you give us a review? And some of them are up, I've seen 1,200, but up to 4,000 reviews. And now is the right time to start marketing those reviews to get more business. And that's where they scratch their heads and go, how do you do that? In other words, when somebody looks up my business, how do you make them stop shopping? And that's what we've done and created by helping our clients, especially in the car industry, with rep videos. And
so let me interject that really quick.
Yeah.
When it comes to the reviews, right? What do you know numbers like? What's the average for dealerships? Is it 3 stars? Is it less? Is it You know, like
It
what the
can be,
benefits are.
oh yeah, it could be across the board. And people are skeptical when they see 5 stars and hundreds of reviews. They go, "Wait a minute, these guys are perfect?" No.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't take an active role. But if they see, 1,000 reviews and it's up above the 4 as far as their ranking, okay, I'll take a look.
I'm pretty sure, and I hate saying these things, especially on the podcast, but I just want to put things into perspective for the listeners because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. I just don't know who to reference on this, but the average for dealerships was less than 3 stars. I don't know that for a fact, so please don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And so if that's the case, I mean, that's definitely something to be aware of, right? Because,
Sure.
depending on where your dealership lies today, there may be a significant amount of opportunity for you to improve there. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. But
Right,
sorry.
and I've seen them across the board, but I haven't seen numbers like that as far as an average for just an industry. More broadly, we've got numbers across my desk every single week of 87% of people that hear about your business through traditional means like TV, radio, print ads, internet ads, or even if it's a word of mouth or it's hot referral. 87% are going online to check out that company before they ever contact you. And the majority of that 87% are going on Google. So that's where we start our research. And then we consult based on that research. And if we have a fit, we have a fit. Or I can refer you to somebody else. You know, but if they are serious about doing reputation marketing, they only have to do it once, because once the videos are there, they don't have to attack it anymore. In
Mhm.
fact, they'll use it as a marketing tool, saying, "Hey, don't believe us as we say we're the best thing. Listen to our customers and go to this exact Google page, look up this, and let our reviews and videos do the talking."
Yeah, so I want to talk about this for a second because this is, it's kind of like a dual question statement sort of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is how important really is it, are these reviews? Are they ultimately impacting car buyers from choosing you or not?
Well,
Um,
yeah, and again, I can't go specifically into the car industry, and I don't know. I've been in contact with some folks at NADA, and maybe they can filter my information down. But we have a case study which was the University of California, Berkeley, and Yelp got together, and they had a study that said if you can improve your star rating by 1/2 star, you can anticipate a 19% increase in your business. Now, that's not by industry. That's by what Google, or no, Yelp and University of California, Berkeley came up with in their case study. So 19%, okay, if it's 15%, will you take it?
if it's
Just by concentrating on reputation marketing.
Yeah, dude, if it's 5%, I would take it. Why would you not? I mean, it's
Right.
just, you know what I mean? And here's the other thing. So the other half of that question is how important, it's not so much getting the reviews, right? Because here's the deal. Like, it's very, very difficult for customers to leave positive reviews. People have a positive experience and they don't feel the need to tell anybody. They get that nice feeling and it's like, oh, that was awesome. I'll do business here again. And that's where it ends. But they have a bad experience and they want to tell the whole world. They want to put you on blast. They want to do all these things to kind of hurt you. You know what I mean?
Right.
To damage your business because they feel like they've been wronged in some way, shape, or form. And so a lot of these these reviews are negative. You know what I mean? Because that's who goes there to, unless you're like delivering that positive experience and telling the customer, hey, can you leave a positive review and do it right now, sort of a deal.
Well,
So,
dangerous. And offering somebody something or a service or money or whatever, a gift for a positive review is a no-no.
no, I
Uh,
wouldn't. I don't mean like
yeah,
that. But what I mean is if I was selling cars today, right, and I delivered a great experience, and I know that that customer is happy and they're in that moment of delight, sort of a deal, then
right.
I'd be like, that would be the perfect opportunity for me to do two things. Number one, ask for a referral, and number two, invite them to, hey, if you feel compelled to, leave us a positive review, sort of a deal. Like, I would truly appreciate that. Something to that effect.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the majority of those are negative. And so how important is it for us to respond to those? Because I can't tell you how many times I've talked to dealers that they're like, they don't want to respond, or they want some sort of widget or something that doesn't allow the customer, like if it's a negative review, they don't want that customer to even have the opportunity to leave that. And to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, listen, leave the negative review, because the reality is that we're going to fumble and drop the ball, because we deal with a lot of people, and you can't make everybody happy. You can try, but it's just never going to be the case. But when you respond to those negative reviews and you tell the people that are reading them how you would handle those situations, I think it does a world of a difference. It humanizes you. It creates, what's the word? It's genuine, right?
Mhm.
And then you get the opportunity to show the public how you handle those situations, and you turn them into
You're
opportunities.
dead
You know
on. Yeah, that's exactly the way I advise anybody to handle a negative review. First of all, if they're going to be rude or unprofessionally, like over the top, hey, leave it alone. It is what it is, and people are going to go, "What a nutcase." Okay, but if it's a complaint about you've dropped the ball, answer them in this way. Hey, it seems that you know uh, we dropped the ball, and I want to make it right with you. Please visit the website and call my number direct. I'm the manager, and I will make it right with you. Never offer anything for free. That attracts a whole bunch of people saying, "Oh, if I have a negative review, I'm going to get a free coupon or a free coffee at Starbucks or something." Never do that. Say, "I want to always make it right with people. We expect to give our customers a 5-star experience. And obviously, we dropped the ball. I want to make it right. Call me direct, and I will talk to you about it." That's the best way that other people reading that are knowing, one, you're a professional, two, you expect to give 5-star service if I ever went there. And, everybody loves a fight. They want to see fisticuffs and, I want you to argue. No, you're the business owner. You got to be professional and come across professional. And that's the way to do it is hey, want to make it right with you, call me and we'll make it right with you. And we always offer a 5-star experience, and we honestly dropped the ball. Sorry about that, and let's move on. That's the best way to handle that. Never argue. No.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. So I started this out talking about GMBs and how important they're going to be, right? And the stuff that I heard was like almost to the point of scary, because I look at a lot of the GMBs for dealerships today, and there's plenty of there's just a lot of opportunity for improvement. Let's just say that. Um, how does this tie into that? You know what I mean? How does having those reviews and having that positive experience, and more importantly, what you're going to show us here in a minute, how does that tie into um, tweaking or improving that for dealers?
Well, I mean, the statistics show that you need 5 to 10 5-star reviews in order to be trusted. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, if you don't have any and you say, "Oh, I'm okay, I don't even have a reputation," you're non existent to that 87% that are going to look you up. So they're going, "What are you? What is this? A front?" You know, uh, I used to work bartending in Alexandria, Virginia. And there was a wig store across the street of Murphy's Irish Pub, and we always were kidding each other. It's like, this is a front, isn't it? Nobody was ever in there. So, but the same kind of mentality is they want three things. They want to check if they're dealing with a reputable company, they want a good deal, and they want to have the company that's going to hold their brand. And it's perfect for the car industry because if I'm looking for a Ford, I'm not looking up a Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
And Google is, okay, the brand is taking care of itself. The reputation we work on, and the good deal has nothing to do with us, has everything to do with you. And but we can send the dealers the traffic based on what we can do for reputation alone, and then we get into traffic and social media and all that kind of other stuff. But as soon as you take care of your reputation, okay, it's done, and you can move on to something else. Just a quick example, when I was down in DC, I had people calling me about traffic, and we'd send them traffic, we'd take their money, and they said, come back to us and saying, your stuff doesn't work. Why? Well, you didn't handle your reputation. And most of the people that were getting that traffic were going on Google, and they see that you didn't have a reputation, so they're not going to call you. They're going shopping. So that's where we segued into what our model is now, is reputation first. Let's get that out of the way. So it works.
Right on, man. No, I totally agree. I mean, look, in the digital world that we live in today, and validation is unfortunately for our industry, that's huge, right? So having these sources that validate the experience and all these other things is it's just in our advantage. There's just no question about it. There is one question I wanted to get into here, discuss with you, and then just for the listeners that are tuned into this on the audio portion, you probably want to check the next half of the podcast on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, because we're going to dive into some visuals that you're going to have to see in order for it to make sense. So if you're listening to this on the audio, when you get some time, continue following this along on YouTube. I am going to post the YouTube link for this session in the notes, so it'd be very, very easy for you to just pull it up on your phone. But I got one more question, then we're going to break into an actual live demo here of this solution, and we're going to have that conversation. So anyway, so the question I wanted to ask before we get into that part is, what about these reputation management companies out there like Podium? And I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm just trying to understand, because there are reputation management widgets and tools out there right now that set you up to, like I said, capitalize those moments of delight, right? So, for example, I go and buy a car at your dealership. I have a great experience, and the salesman can send me a link because he knows I was a happy customer. But if I'm not a happy customer, then they don't have to send me anything, right? Or they can, you know what I'm saying? So they can kind of control that to a certain degree. Now, if I'm at Yelp or whatever, I'm going to go and I'm going to do it on my own anyway. But for the most part, you know what I mean?
Right.
There are things out there that you can implement. So talk to me about that. Do they work? Does it not work? What are and how are they deficient if they're not? If they are, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I know a lot of dealers use it. So I'm trying to kind of point out what they're, are they effective or not? And if they're not, where are the areas of deficiency?
Right. But my favorite tool, I call it the digital clipboard. It replaces the 70-year-old technology of here's a clipboard, sign it, sign your sign this form. Instead, it's a digital clipboard where, as you first enter the establishment, you sign in your name, address, phone number, and it could have a drop-down menu of why you're here. So the staff instantly knows why you're here. And it builds your email list. And as soon as the customer leaves, about an hour later, it can text message them and asking the question, would you recommend us, yes or no? And they say, okay, I would. And instantly they see a little video of a girl saying, hey, thanks very much for recommending us. Would you, have the time to place 2 sentences or to tell us about your experience? And you do. And the next little video says, hey, can you press Google, Facebook, or Yelp to post that online? And they do. So it's instantly, it's instant review for your business. And what if the person says, no, you wouldn't recommend? It has a negative video triggered, and they see it on their phone, and they say, we're sorry that you didn't have a 5-star experience. Can you write a quick review about your experience, and we want to make it right with you. Here's the number of the call. It's click the call button. So that is a buffer between letting everybody know about your bad experience. It keeps it in-house, so management can engage with that person saying, hey, we want to know where we fell short. So that's another tool. There's other tools like feedback pages that don't tell the world about the bad reviews. It keeps it in-house. But the good reviews, it segues into, okay, let's put this online instantly. So the customer has an easier time without being pressured on, hey, can you get us a review? That's kind of an awkward conversation before you leave. You just sold me my car.
I don't know, man. I hear that, but I don't get that, man. Like if I knocked it out the park, I'm going to ask for a referral. I'm going to ask for 10 referrals, right? If I know that customer is pleased and happy and they're giddy and they're leaving that dealership super excited, listen, who do you know? Who can we, you got to get great experience, right? Who can we tell this to? Like, let's share it with your network. Well, and by the way, post a review online for me. I'd really appreciate it. Why not?
Right. Yeah. The beautiful part about that is it can be saved on your phone. So you press that button and you're right at the feedback page. Hey, check this out before you go. Can you write a review for me? Yeah, I'd be happy to. Oh, well, here's my phone. You can do it right on my phone. Great. Done. So it can be instant, because you're right. The emotion is so high, and when they get home, they're like, I didn't really check underneath for rust or anything like that. Oh, look at that. Or, buyer's remorse. Everybody goes through that. So when the iron's hot, you better be ready to get referrals.
Well, to a certain degree, it could be lack of salesmanship, but more than anything, it's just the way people buy, right? We make decisions emotionally, and then after the fact, we want to get all logical about our decisions.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's so true. And if you have the tools at your disposal to make it benefit for them, you, and the business, it's a win-win-win. I love win-win-wins.
All right, but so you think that some of do you think that any reputation management tool out there is good? Better than not having one?
If they have that insurance buffer, and if they don't, and they're letting good ones and good reviews and bad reviews let loose on the internet, it's a bad thing. You've got to have that buffer, that I call it an insurance plan for the business. I mean, and of course you're going to get bad reviews. We're all human.
Good, though. That's my point. In your opinion, is it good for us to do that, to try to minimize or completely remove the bad reviews from our digital presence? I contend that it's not, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said earlier, if I look at a dealership and they're 5 stars and everybody's happy, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Right.
That's not real. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Plus, it doesn't tell me as a consumer, if I reward you with my time, right, and my wallet, and you screw up, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to handle that situation? Are you just going to pass it, or are you going to own up and take responsibility for it?
Right.
Because here's the deal. Shit happens, man. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that it is.
Right.
So I don't know, dude. I think that I think at one point we didn't care about reviews at all because I sat with and then back in 2015 and 2016, I sat in meetings with GMs and principals that said, "Oh, internet reviews. Nobody looks at that. It doesn't matter. Nobody's paying it. Not when it comes to buying a car. If you're going to a restaurant or going to watch a movie, but for car buying, that's nobody's paying attention."
Right.
Look where we are today. Companies have built themselves by offering widgets to help dealers manage that part that nobody seemed to care about just a few years ago.
Yep.
And now we're obsessing with it to the point where we want no bad reviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
Right.
we're on the other end of the spectrum where we're not actually doing anything. We just, good or bad reviews, they're just up there. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody responds. It's just up. It's just there for everybody to see, which is not an effective way to handle it. You gotta engage with those, right? Respond. You gotta be active. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm going on a tangent or a rant here, but I'm just, to me, those are my thoughts. Like, yeah, you should have it, but you should try to find balance between having the bad exposed with the good.
Right. Right. And again, that buffer is going to keep the bad reviews in house. And I don't mind if somebody has a 4-star. Hey, we weren't perfect. The coffee was cold. Or wasn't made. Or they gave me $1, but it wouldn't take the vending machine. People like to complain about stuff, okay. But
The popcorn machine was empty.
right.
You washed my car, but you didn't vacuum it. How dare you?
I've seen some car owners, they bring in their dogs. And if I'm allergic to a dog, I'm not having a good time. I'm a dog guy, by the way. But, but I've seen it. I'm like, hey.
Thanks for clearing that up, man.
Yeah, right. Important to know.
Yeah.
Sorry for all you cat lovers out there. Sorry.
All right, dude. Okay, so this is the part where we're changing things up a little bit. And by the way, I just want to say, like, this is it's the very first of this. Like, everybody, if you're following the show, you know that I have 2 tech companies per season on the show, and we always talk about the tool, the widget, whatever. But this is the first time we're doing like an actual demo of it. So I'm kind of excited to see how this works out. Again, the link to this session, this whole video session, is on my YouTube channel, or it's posted on my YouTube channel, and the link is in the notes. So from this point on, it would serve you best to look at this there because you can actually see it, right? So anyway, I just want to make sure that you have that distinction. Mike, take us away.
Yeah,
buddy.
and if you're on a platform and you see your screen, and to the right of the screen you see a question box, pause this in case you have any questions. Me and my staff are live in real time answering those questions. So there's a question box. Or if you want me to pass on something to Herb, I would be happy to. So let's go to share the screen. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys.
Hey, you can. There it is. Okay.
Okay. So, first, a little bit. Here it is. A little bit more about what we do. So, as you know, digital marketing is a big puzzle. And one of the first questions I ask my clients is what's the most important piece to any puzzle? And I get all kinds of answers. Do you know, Herb?
Yes. Finding the edges.
Oh, the edges. Okay.
The
The corners and the edges and the
yeah.
Okay.
And then fill it in from there.
Okay. All right. I say that it's the picture on the box.
Oh, right on. Yeah, because if you know what you're building, that's good.
All right. Man. So we start up right up at the top, and we do reputation first because as you're going to see, If you do this once and you do it right, you don't no longer have to really necessarily have to worry about it. And I'm going to show you that. The other cores are traffic, and we have been blessed to partner up with 20 of the biggest big data companies in the world. So when you guys are ready for traffic, get with me. I'll explain that. Funnel marketing is so much fun. You can laser target your people and segue in from mass marketing to digital driven marketing, which is so much cheaper than TV or radio. And finally, automated social media for your clients or your followers to see some funny stuff that you have, or see some trivia or inspiration. Each day, I don't know if you know this, but you have to post 2 times a day to every one of your social media platforms in order to be profitable. Who has the time? Or who has the people?
Say it again. What?
Yeah, two times. Twitter, it's 4, but we averaged it out to 2. To 2 on Facebook, 2 to 1 on LinkedIn, 2 to Instagram, and 4 to Twitter.
Like actual posts or responses
Posts.
or engagement of some way, shape, or form?
Posts. So yeah, that's a whole nother platform. But it suffices to say that we provide the content and provide that to an owner. The owner can go through and select the 60 they like, and 60 and 30 days in a month, it's 2 a day. So we automatically post what they select 2 a day to each platform, and it's working crazy good. And the numbers are they're doubling their followers in just 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. All of a sudden they have a new business. So I mean, social media is huge, but as soon as these platforms are asking money to be present on that, things are going to change.
Oh yeah, of course.
So let's.
We're all getting the organic wave, right?
I'm sorry.
Right now, the people that are engaging in those platforms are riding the organic wave, but
Absolutely.
just like Facebook and Instagram, eventually all those, they're going to find ways to monetize.
Exactly. So let's go on here. This is the study I was telling you about. University of California, Berkeley, and Yelp get together, and a 19% increase with a half-star rating. So let's go on and show you some of that. Here is a graph, and I'll spend time individually with people, but here's ad spend in blue for television, and here's ad spend in the past couple of years for internet. And it crossed over and rocketed past TV in 2016. So it's now at $280 billion, and there's no stop. There's no stopping it. So, I mean, that's what we're in. So let's go to Google and check out. Somebody posted the other day, a company in Florida. Oh, it was Sawgrass, Florida, and they commended them on their approaching 4,000. No, they're over 4,000 now. Okay, so they were commenting, "Hey, congratulations on 4,000 Google reviews." And this page here looks exactly like every page that you're going to, those 87% I mentioned earlier are going to see. They're going to see this. Toyota in Alexandria, where I once lived, looks the same. Looks exactly the same. So what we did is, down the street from these guys, Tesla. Here's the review video that we produced and posted online, and it debuted at number 7 on the first page down here.
So, okay, so let's pause here
Yeah.
for a second. So go back up to that video. Like that's not what you typically would see.
Absolutely not.
So, because here's the thing: you put all these things into Google, and Google's going to. This is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. Google's going to choose the ones that are more popular, and it's going to serve those things up, right? Because they have more engagement, clicks, views, or for Google's purposes, I would assume that they look at it as more relevant.
With what Google told us when we called them, we were all excited. Hey, can you do this for all of our clients' videos? And they said no. The only reason that we supersized yours is because it had authority and it had credibility. And I'm like, what determines that? And they let the cat out of the bag. They said the more views it gets, the more higher ranking it's going to get, and eventually we're going to supersize it if it's viewed enough. So as we go, I mean, and if you were here, Herb, and you lived in Washington, D.C., or, thinking about buying a Tesla, but you wanted to check the reviews, are you really going to filter through these 49 reviews? Or are you going to press the play button?
No, see, the consumer that I am, I would look at the star ratings, 4.7. I'd say, okay, that's pretty good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I just wanted to.
Because I'm a little bit on the negative side, and because I'm part of the industry,
right.
If I saw negative, then I would go in there and see why are they so bad. You know what I mean? What's going on?
Right. No.
But that's the marketer curious side of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But to be, the opposite side of it is this video here, and people click on it to this day, has been on the same position on YouTube. Okay, Google owns YouTube, loves video. If you give YouTube and Google what it wants, it will rank them. So that's the tip of the day. But this video has been here since 2014. And it's not going anywhere, and it's up to 11,143 views. So people are still wanting to take a minute to watch the video instead of going through the reviews. And again, they're looking for 3 things. They're looking for a reputable company, they're looking for a good deal, which we can't provide them right now, and they're looking for a brand. And those 3 questions are answered by this. So, and we don't have a camera crew following us around and closing down businesses. This is all done online. So this is a patent pending process.
So how does it look? Like, what is it?
Yeah, the girl,
A little bit of it.
it's a Hollywood studio. I'm going to show you that, but she's standing in front of a green screen and reading a script. And we put this Tesla showroom picture behind her. And the bottom third is their logo, the colors, the local business company, and the local business number. And she's just basically saying, hey, we just got another 5-star review. Here it is. And we take the review with the person's first name and last initial. And this case, it's off of Yelp. And we continue on, and she says, hey, wasn't that a great review? For more information, call the number on your screen. So there's the call to action here. That's it. I mean, it's no magic to it, other than if you don't get it from us, you could get it from one of our colleagues, but you couldn't make this on your own, and you won't find one of our competitors who can do this.
Well, what if I go on YouTube, and I'm just playing devil's advocate
Sure.
here, but what if I go on YouTube, I load up a video, I go into my own GMB, I look at the review, I look for the first positive one that's relevant, right, that's recent.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to, if my last positive review was 4 years ago, then it's probably not worth doing at all.
Yes, and that is, you know what, that's a good argument, but on the flip side, if you're Tesla in Washington, D.C., you'd be crazy to call Google and say, hey, take that video down.
Of course. I would look, I like it. I would, and this is exactly what I told you before. When I saw this for the first time, I was like, it looks cool, man. It does. It's eye catching, right? Because you don't typically see that. You know what I mean? It's not something that you typically see.
Right, right.
But for the people that are looking at this and they're like, well, yeah, I mean, but what if I just go on YouTube myself and upload a video about my reviews and maybe I do some ads on it and get it to, I don't know, 4,000 views? Wouldn't Google just take that and do the exact same thing?
Ah, that's the secret sauce. Okay, we've been doing this for so long. We know exactly what Google and YouTube need. Whereas, if I click on this again, these people over here, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can post a video all you want, but to get it ranked and to give Google and YouTube all it wants and needs to rank it for a certain company in this certain spot, like this is what you see when you go here. That is a specialty we pride ourselves on.
And so you can do this. The claim is that you can do this for any dealership that signs up for your products.
Yeah, I mean they have to do their part. We can produce it.
What's their part?
It's. I'll show you an example of one we did a couple of weeks ago. Runs Run. This is one of the foundations that we work with for pancreatic cancer. You don't see their video here, right? But it's here. So we contacted Run's Fully Foundation and we said, hey, you got to get your followers and your folks to watch this. But they're a nonprofit and they don't have people in the office every day. They're all volunteers. So they don't kind of wrap their heads around what I'm asking them to do to rank this as high as this. When I call Tesla, hey, put this URL on your social media and this URL everywhere on everything. So it has to be multiple times. Tell your staff to tell their friends. Make it viral as you can. And once they hit 500 or so, that'll go up the ranks pretty quickly.
Right.
And so I showed you that one. Here's another one that took me more seriously, and they're now at number 2. But if they don't take that action, that's the partnership I have with them is you got to do your part or don't buy it. You know, I want to win with you, with our clients. But the only way is to take action yourself. Because I can't watch your video 500 times, and I'm not going to.
Are you sure, man?
Well, yeah, that's the different story here.
Okay, so I get that. So let's talk about the impact here, right? Because this is ultimately what this is, what we're breaking it down to. Obviously, I think that in 2020 we all agree that reviews are important, and that guess what? Car buyers are looking at reviews and they are making decisions. There are people that are going to service their vehicle. So what's the impact of having this? As far as let's talk about the bottom line. Like, what are you seeing? More car buyers, more engagement with the store, more leads. Like, how does somebody quantify this?
Well, we're seeing 4 things that people do when they see this video. One is they're done shopping. 2 is they're going to either call, opt in, set an appointment, or just go in and buy. And those are the 4 things that any business owner that owns a website wants their visitors to do. Take some type of action. Because the reality is that 96% that land on a business website, whatever business it is, and I don't have industry numbers, again, NADA might help me out with that, but 96% go look around and they go. So, people that do that aren't retargeting, they're losing 96% of their visitors. So
Hmm.
somebody that would possibly be a visitor, that 96% are lost forever unless you're retargeting. And retargeting is just a smart thing to do.
Yeah, of
You know,
course. I
but
totally agree.
many many companies go, retarget what? What are you talking about? And I have to explain it that that's the way to capture and stay in front of 100% of your visitors.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just foolish not to. So, while I'm here, just as opposed to this example, I'm going to show you one others real quick. These guys were busy for Valentine's Day, and I just wanted to show you the difference between this and the other
Oh,
one.
wow, there it is.
Is we worked with these guys for a year, and we posted one of these videos every single month. If you go to the video page, all the all the spaces are taken up by the 5-star reviews. So we left no room for a visitor to this site to go anywhere else, and they're killing it. And they
Yeah,
only
no,
have
they-
92 reviews. So as I mentioned before, their staff is telling their customers, "Hey, don't believe what we say. Just go to Google." And people have a lot
hey,
of
scroll down there for a
uh,
second because there's something that dealers that a lot of dealers are not aware. Scroll down on the GMB all the way down, all the way down. There,
right,
here. People also search for. So you can actually post in for free, and a lot of dealers don't realize that, right? Instead of showing your competitors, you can post in there for free and create additional content for yourself. Now, I don't know how long Google's going to allow that to be the case, but if you're not doing that, I'm just when you said that, it just brought to my attention because go back
right,
up, go back up to where the video is and
yep,
everything. Like the uniformity here, that's beautiful, right? As a customer, if I were searching for jewelry or whatever, and I go here and I stumble upon this, I'd be super impressed. You know, 4 point. I mean, it's not like they have a ton, but they have 4.5-star ratings. They have these videos here that show branding, right? It just looks clean and nice. And if you go to the bottom and instead of seeing my competitors, I actually see
right,
ads for my business, dude. Like that's yeah,
yep.
that's dope.
You're done shopping. And
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's other jewelry stores in Tampa, but you're done. And
yeah.
if I did go to another one, um, I'm going back here. I'm coming back. You know, um, and it's about, again, am I dealing with a reputable company? Am I looking for the brand I want? And are you going to give me a good deal? And if I'm searching for an anniversary gift and I'm living in Tampa, I might just give these guys, might just cross their doorway, you know? So,
No, yeah, for sure. All right, man. So we're getting real close to that time. I wanted to give you an opportunity. Obviously, I love that we're doing this demo. I think it's going to be a cool thing to share with the audience. So again, if you were only listening to this on the audio side, you want to go to YouTube. There's a link in the show notes, or just go to my YouTube page and check this session out so you can actually see all the visuals. But talk to us about price and then how people can get in touch with you. Give us all that
sure,
jazz.
sure. I'm going to supply this as a receipt. So, what is in this? We have a beta program right now. So we contacted a number of our competitors and we listed off all the, what we want in these videos. 100% original content. You can read this for yourself. You've seen it for yourself. You can look it up. How much would this cost if you were to produce it like your own or outsource it? Well, we did all that searching for you, and we were quoted these prices for these services. Spokesmodel would be $800 plus royalties. We go on and on and on, and graphics animation, $400, and not to mention the optimization and the broadcasting and the syndication. Um, we were quoted at 3650, so $3,650 for one video. It's like, wow. That's too much. So we decided to do a beta, and just for Dealer Talk, if you're watching this, you only get access to this. So put this in your browser, and you'll get the deal. Okay, you're going to be saving $2,153. That's over 55% off of that right here.
Right on. And I'm gonna put this link everywhere, guys. It'll be in my show notes. It'll be on the video and the YouTube page when I post it on social media. We'll have that in there. I'm telling you, like, you gotta start looking at that as a way for you to differentiate yourself. If you're the only dealer that's doing it in your area, trust me, you're gonna get some benefits from it for sure.
Absolutely. And I'll walk you through hand in hand on this. You know, it's not, hey, thanks for your money, goodbye. There's some other things with the big data and all those things I showed you before that we're interested in helping you grow, and we'll grow with you. That's the point of our business. But if you want to buy one, that's the cost. If you want to buy four, we knock it down. We give you 2 months off, and instead of paying for 12, you pay for 10, and that's the price. That's the link, and that's the number. So you'll be seeing this from Herb. You'll be seeing this from me, and that's it in a nutshell. If any questions, pause this. Write a question in the question box. You'll be amazed at how quickly I answer you. But that is it for my end. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, dude, thanks for doing this deal with me and for being open enough to do this demo. Like, I gotta say, man, I've done a lot of these demos, and they've been behind closed doors, and it's funny because it's kind of how the podcast started, is because I was having a lot of conversations behind closed doors, and I wanted to get that out to the open. Then through that effort, I started to get all these people reaching out like, hey, I got this product. I want to do a demo. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. And I started to do that, and I started to learn a bunch and look at all these different things.
Right.
And it's always cool when I find something like this that I can get behind. Even though, just to be 100% transparent, when you first showed it to me, I was like, yeah, I mean, I see it, but I don't know how it fits. And now, knowing where Google's headed and kind of their direction, like, I'm telling you folks, like, this is going to make a big, big difference for your relevancy. It's going to make a big difference for your branding, for that digital branding. And then think about the GMB and how customers are using that. Like 60 to 80% of those customers use that to get into your website, even after they visited you, which just blows my mind. So, you know, I got to say, I'm definitely just, when I'm talking to my dealers, I'm talking to them about these sorts of things. And, you know, check it out, you know, come to your own conclusions, but check it out. Mike, thanks, dude. I appreciate you doing this. It's been awesome.
My pleasure. And you know, we'll see how this goes, and I'll be happy to do another demonstration of another step up. This is the first step with us anyway.
Yeah.
And we won't take your money for anything else but reputation first. And once it's done, like you said, that video's been there for 5 years. It's not going anywhere, and it still works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it, dude, and you know, it's one of the reasons why I put my name and my brand behind it, is because I see where we're going with this in the future, and that it's going to make a big, big difference. So, dude, again, thank you. There is one question that I ask everybody that comes on the show, and that question is, where do you see the automotive industry headed in the next 5 years, and why?
The next step is, everybody's talking video. The next step is this. Okay, so reputation of the industry is going to improve with this, but I see in the next 5-10 years that the marketing spend is going to go digital, because they can laser target their buyers and potential buyers by using big data and building up those pixels or cookies, and on those cookies are their clients or potential clients. And there will be no more fighting across the street to get the ups to come in your lot. That won't be needed anymore. That you can target market your people who are interested in what you have instead of, hey, buy here. Those days are over.
Right on. There you have it, folks. Mike Larkin, everybody. Dude, thank you so much. That's all the time we have for today. If you haven't done so, please share this episode, share this podcast with anybody that can benefit from this information so that they can take it back to the dealership and implement it in their day-to-day. Thanks for tuning in. We're out. Peace. And as usual, we'll talk later.